Dobra, zaraz będę. Wszystko się zgadza. Już powinien być online. O, wow, nagle już jest od 15 tych sekund. No, pojaw się. Pojaw się. Dobra, jest. Ok, to witam wszystkich. W końcu udało mi się zmusić tę grę do działania. Windows 10, nowe zasady. Nowe zasady DirectXa są po prostu tragiczne. Musiałem ściągać demo, żeby móc przekopiować cały folder binary. I dopiero zaczęło działać. Bo inaczej się nie dało. No ale dobra. Może przynajmniej będzie warto i zacznijmy grę. Dobra, to powinno być spokojne. Powinienem się troszkę uspokoić. Bo już się strasznie wkurzyłem na to wszystko. I mam nadzieję, że będzie działać. Nie wywali się nagle coś niepotrzebnie. Działaj. Nie crashuj już więcej. Się wkurzę strasznie. Okej, chyba idzie dalej. Wydaje mi się, że bardzo powoli. Zawiesiło się, czy nie? Nie, dobra. Przynajmniej z tego, co mi wiadomo, że ta gra jest dobra, więc oby było warto. Tyle się męczyć. I tyle się ładować. Jezus Maria. Już ta gra jest strasznie stara już. Może strasznie stara, 13 rok. No ale nadal.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
No nie, ja nie byłbym szczęśliwy
And
w
then
takiej
one
pracy.
day something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
No dobra, czyli tak. Ogólnie gra polega na tym, że ten narrator mówi mi teoretycznie, co mam robić, ale to ode mnie zależy, czy zrobię to w taki sposób, jak on każe, czy nie. I no ogólnie ciężko jest to opisać. Nie mogę? Ale nie wiem, jak się w ogóle interaktuje. Okay.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Aha, czyli to jest jeden z endingów. Po prostu nie wyjście z własnego boksa. Tak. Okej, czyli muszę wyjść, bo inaczej mnie zaraz zamknie z powrotem. Tak, jak zamknie się drzwi, to się nie można wyjść. Żadna nie jest otwarta. Właśnie, bo to jest wiele sekretów jest z tego, co słyszałem. Więc warto szukać. Zaraz może się... Tak jak teraz, jak zamknąłem się w...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Właśnie, bo teoretycznie mówi mi, co mam robić, a jak się...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Właśnie z takich rzeczami. To jest naprawdę ciekawe, że musieli...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
No właśnie, że przemyśleli, co gracz może zrobić w każdym momencie. O, mogę z tym mieć interakcję. We wszystkim mogę prowadzić interakcję. O, myślałem, że już nie będę mógł otworzyć tych drzwi. Czasami się przecina jeszcze, niestety. Strasznie duży zasięg mam interakcji. Mogę mieć interakcję z rzeczami, których nawet nie dotykam. Jestem daleko. No cóż. O, input received. Mogę jeszcze? Lol, mogę tu wyjść. Nie mogę więcej. Szkoda, chciałem zobaczyć, czy coś się stanie.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
Okej. Czyli tam myślałem, że będę mógł przejść dalej, ale się okazuje, że jednak nie. Nie. I hate Monday. Nie mogę tam wejść? Okej. Wiem, że tu są różne ciekawe rzeczy, tylko nie wiem gdzie. O,
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Po lewej, ale jak się cofnę? Nie mogę. Okej, to teraz tak. Czy słuchamy narratora, czy idziemy własnym? Dobra, niech będzie. Tym razem po lewej. Zobaczymy, co powie. Okej, cisza. Spodziewamy się dalszych instrukcji. O,
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Do not alter without construct whiteboard manager. Using sites assume employees everything is okay. Okej. Czyli co? Lecimy do szefa. O, to się otworzyło. No i się znowu zacięło.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Coś musi tu być, skoro mogłem tu wejść.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Coś tam musi być. Nie, dobra, bo zaraz mnie znowu zresetuje. Do samego początku.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Dobra, tym razem się nie zgodzimy. Zobaczymy, co się stanie. Okej, to nic.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
Okay.
How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
O Jezus Maria, a nadal jest to... Okej. I się nie obudziłem.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
To było głośne.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
W ogóle to było nagranie martwego ciała na YouTubie. I od nowa. Bo to wcale nie jest teraz na topie, można powiedzieć. No dobra, to było drugie z zakończeń. Pierwsze to, że po prostu staliśmy w naszym...
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started. And if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
To było inne, okej. Znaczy, nie mam tutaj też za dużo miejsca na mówienie, bo cały czas mi przerywa lektor, ale gra jest naprawdę ciekawa. Dobra. Tu nic nie było wcześniej. Więc idziemy.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dobra, to idziemy tym razem
This was
po
not
prawej.
the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Włączone. Okej, tu nic więcej nie mogę wejść. Okej. O.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okej. Odpoczniemy sobie chwilę.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
A, jeszcze jeden. Zobaczymy, co coś jeszcze powie.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Dobra, idziemy dalej.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Okej, tam jest jakiś magazyn. Mogę iść też do przodu. Okej, to może być ciekawe.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Caution, do not lie, do not are lying right now, stop. If you are lying right now, stop. Okej. Okej. Ciekawy budynek, że mamy tak wysokie magazyny. Ciekawe, co to jest w ogóle za firma. No, nie mam karty. Nie jestem tak dobrym pracownikiem. Okej, nie wiem gdzie indziej co pójść.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Mogę
Someone
zeskoczyć z
you've
tego.
forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okej, nie mam nigdzie indziej do wejścia, mogę tylko wejść tutaj. Zamkną się? Zamykają się, dobra. O nie, zejście na dół. Znowu to samo. Nie mogę gdzie indziej. Czyli co, dojdziemy do tego samego endingu? No nie, są tam jakieś kolejne wybory. Wcześniej tego nie było.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
To co? Lecimy dalej, nie zgadzamy się z nim.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nie.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nie.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you.
Whoa.
You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Okej. Czy to jest... Okej, widzę, że się coś pozmieniało. Nie wiem, czy teraz tam iść, czy nie. Czy coś innego wybrać. Co napiszę? Nie, nic ciekawego. Dobra, wejdę, zobaczymy.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Dajmy 4.
Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Clearly there's something here that speaks to you. If I can be honest here, I really don't have any idea where I'm going with this. This whole third door thing was just a stab in the dark. But I guess you're into it, so let's keep this party train rolling. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Okay. The Stanley Parable Worldwide Leaderboard. Okay. LOL, to zlicza aktualnie ze wszystkich gier. Did you know that 21 or 3 players skipped the intro sequence? Only the worst 3 player chose the blue door. How long it take you to get correct door? Complete against other to improve Stanley Parable. Wow, ja już jestem tutaj... Co? Nie. Okej, dobra. Wszystkie informacje on mnie podaje. Nice one. Dobra. Idziemy jeszcze raz w te drzwi.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Nie dałem motywacji,
Hey, I
bardziej...
nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it,
gra w
would you?
grze.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Okej, dawaj. Co za gra?
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Serio, jakbym grał w to przez 4 godziny, coś by się stało, czy... Dobra, niech przeleci.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
No, co teraz mi załadujesz?
This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Nie, nie chcę. Mogę wszystkich zabić? Nie lubię. No.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley.
Nie mogę skakać, nie mogę iść.
Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create
You can jump,
greater
yes.
artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
Nie mogę skakać, więc nie mogę stąd wyjść. O, sam buduję. To nie wygląda dobrze?
Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Jak tam wejdę, to stąd już nie wyjdę, prawda? Nie wyjdę stąd, wiem, że mnie zamknie. Bo jest zbyt mało miejsca tam. Tylko nie mogę nic więcej zrobić. Nie skoczę tu. Nie skoczę tu. Dobra, jeszcze chwilę poczekam, może się wkurzy i dam jakąś inną opcję. No dobra, chyba nie.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
O! Dał mi wyjść. No już nie mogę tam wejść. Dobra. Czyli gram tak naprawdę w Minecrafta aktualnie. Dobra, idziemy. Lol.
It looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Nie. Ale mógł mieć światło.
Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Okej. Hua, dużo tych gier jest w jednej grze. Portal!
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Dobra, dawaj mi...
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
Dobra. Wiem, że da się to zepsuć, ale... nie będę teraz próbował. Nie? Nic nie powiesz? Dobra, ale wezmę ze sobą... Radyjko chcę radio wziąć. O. I chcę wziąć ze sobą radio.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any...
Wow. Auć! Beta. Okej. Czuję się naprawdę jak w portalu starym. Flame cabinets... What the fuck? Strasznie ciemno tutaj. Czy ja wpadłem poza mapę? Nic nie widzę. Chyba tak. Jak w portalu dwójce. Przechodzenie przez zniszczone wszystko. Gdzie ja jestem? O! Coś tam jest. Nie mogę? Nie, to nie jest horror, to jest Stanley Parable. Tylko, że... Nie mam pojęcia, co się dzieje aktualnie. A w horror bym jakiś zagrał nawet, tylko nie wiem w jaki. Też było ciekawe. Okej. Co tu się dzieje? Przestał w ogóle mówić. Mogę coś tu zrobić? No właśnie może jakiś zagrał, tylko nie wiem jaki. Okej, nic nie mogę tu zrobić. Co ja robię teraz?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon.
No i koniec. Nowy ending. No już. W Outlast nie grałem, ale jest... Nie, znaczy oglądałem go. Outlast, jeśli chodzi o ten. Ale... Okej, od nowa. Ale nie wiem, czy on mi pójdzie, bo to chyba jest jeden z nowszych gier.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Czemu wszystkie kompy są nagle powłączane? Mają coś napisane. Okej, cały czas się to zmienia. A ten, no nie wiem, czy mi pójdzie na streamie, naprawdę. Outlast. Wszystkie kompy są powłączane teraz. O! Drugi input. Czyli mogę to zrobić kilka razy przy przejściu. Okej. No tak. A, tobie poszło. Ale chodzi mi o to... Pójść na streamie to są dwie różne rzeczy, bo mi wiele gier chodzi, a na streamie się tnie i nie da się oglądać. Bo jednak stream bardzo dużo zużywa procesora strasznie.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Dobra, jeszcze raz pójdziemy, bo tutaj mieliśmy tylko jeden ending. Ale tak, no mówię, oglądałem Outlast, więc też wiem, co się mniej więcej dzieje.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Dobra, idziemy do bossa. Nieźle sobie urządzili. Exclusive bathroom. No, zamknęło się. Nikogo? Nikogo. No to pewnie będziesz przesunął kompa kupić, jak się tak cały czas wyłącza.
Staring into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked,
ładny
unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okej, muszę chyba tam iść. No, komp 3000 dobry komp to już jest. Mogę jeszcze klikać? Nie, nie mogę. Okej, coś tu jeszcze jest? Bo na pewno coś jeszcze mogę zrobić, bo to tak duże pomieszczenie nie może być. O, kamera. No dobra, ale skoro tak, to idziemy. No może przegrzewał ci się, to jak ściągniesz boczny panel, to może być lepiej. Dobra. Dół. Dobra, jedziemy na dół. Dobra, co tam jest? Nie, za 3 koła można już coś ciekawego złożyć, jeżeli szukasz kompa. Na pewno lepszego niż ty masz teraz, bo jak cię wyłącza tak po prostu znienacka, to tragedia. Dobra, jaki teraz ending dostaniemy?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okej. Chyba już się wyłączyło. Ja jest strasznie, jeżeli jest horror game, to ja się strasznie stresuję, więc każdy jumpscare by mnie łapał na pewno.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Znaczy to jest bardzo ciekawa gra, właśnie bardzo dobrze. Escape Mind Control Facility. Nie chcę mi się znowu tu wracać, a znowu jest wybór. Dobra, idziemy. Później. Idziemy dalej. Zamknęły się za mną drzwi, prawda? Tak. Światło.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
To dopiero kino domowe. Dobra. Mogę uciec chyba, tak? Otworzyły się drzwi, prawda? Czy są zamknięte? Nie, są zamknięte. Myślałem, że się otworzyły. Dobra. O, tam jeszcze będę mógł przejść dalej. Jak tu zrobię coś. Kamery. I kompy. Dobra, nic więcej. To kamery.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. Lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okej. Ciekawa firma. Normalny aperture.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Możliwe. Dobra, lecimy w górę.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions.
Mind control offline.
Or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Co tam? Mogę włączyć? Nie, nie mogę włączyć. Okej. Power Facility, mogę iść tam. Co to? 1. Nic się nie stało. 2. Dalej nic, mogę tam na górę wejść jeszcze. Strasznie dużo wyborów. Ja nie wiem, ile ta gra ma zakończeń, ale z tego co wiem, bardzo dużo. 4. Czyli co, muszę po kolei wcisnąć 1, 2, 3 i 4? Jeszcze muszę znaleźć trójkę. Tu jest 1. Tu jest 2. O, mogę jeszcze coś. Gdzie jest 3? To raczej nic nie będę mógł zrobić. Tutaj też są jakieś przyciski. Jeszcze mogę zejść tam na dół. Okej. Ładne światełka. Ale to nie o to mi chodziło. Gdzie? O, jest 3. Dobra. I tak, tam były 1 i 2. To wciśniemy wszystkie po kolei. O, tu jest jeszcze coś. Console disarmed. Okej, zobaczmy. 1. 2. Gdzieś była 3. 3. I tam jest na górze 4. I zobaczymy, co się wtedy stanie. Bo wiem, że mogę iść do Power Facility i to wszystko wyłączyć. Nie? Serio? Myślałem, że to będzie to... Nie mam pojęcia, szczerze mówiąc. Co to znaczy? Jak chcesz to sprawdzić? Dobra, to jest tak nieaktywne, więc... Chyba, że jeszcze jest 5 gdzieś. Są wszystko nieaktywne, nie mogę tego włączyć niczego, nie. O, tu jest jeszcze jakiś duży czerwony przycisk. Nie mogę go kliknąć. A, tam jest jeszcze 5. Jest coś. A, okej. Czyli co? Jeszcze raz spróbujmy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 po kolei. Jak to nie zadziała, to idę po prostu dalej. Nie, nie włączyło się? Nie, disable. Nadal. Czas. 1, 2, 3. No, a, tu są jeszcze jakieś cyfry, mówisz? Ale 0, to... Nie mam 0. Paulina. Wiem, że to ty. Dobra. I 5. Tutaj nic nie ma więcej. 5. Nic się nie stało. No dobra, to idziemy. Nic się nie stało. Myślałem, że coś się stanie, albo trzeba jakiś kod może wpisać.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley,
Włączamy.
you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Oh,
In the
kurde.
event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the
detonator.
entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this
press any
means,
key
I
to
barely
send
know
for
where to start.
nie da się nic.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are. A moment of solace before you're
Tu są
obliterated.
jakieś.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
O kurde, nie zdążę.
Only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game
Może pójdę wyłączę.
solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
No nie, jest minuta. Może spróbuję kliknąć off.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along.
Fuck, nie
it's
mogę.
just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
Nie mam pojęcia, co.
This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it.
Strasznie mnie zagłusza. Coś.
Take a look at
Goodbye, employee. Okej, fajnie.
30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
I walło. Nie wiedziałem, co mam tam zrobić. Coś pewnie dało się zrobić, ale nie mam pojęcia. No cóż. Bo dało dużo czasu, więc na pewno tam się coś dało zrobić. No ale dobra, jeszcze raz.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Okej, może gdzieś indziej, w jakimś innym zakończeniu dowiem się, w jaki sposób tam wyłączyć tą bombę.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow.
Bo jak przejdę tam...
This room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Tak, tu nie byłem jeszcze, więc możemy pójść.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Nie, bo tam znowu wrócimy na do meeting room, tak? Więc to nie jest to, co chcę. Więc jedziemy na dół. Może tam coś się dowiem. No i wszystko to jest powiązane.
He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okej. Okej, nie mam innej możliwości.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No,
Ej,
no, not the right.
Bez przesady,
Why
nie
would
na
I have
streamie.
ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
No, daj mi wyjść.
No, let's see, we went down right, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes.
Sam nie znam swojej gry.
I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okej. To jest mniej przyjazna droga, szczególnie z tym samochodem tutaj. O, jesteśmy tutaj.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be
Byliśmy
here
tam na
yet.
dole.
This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to
Byliśmy tam, jechaliśmy tą windą tam u góry.
The whole story completely unusable.
Tam aż.
How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track. Okay, from the top.
O, okej, szukałem swojego numeru. Nie pamiętam go nawet. No jeszcze raz.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
A właśnie, bo tam chyba gdzieś był monitor, w którym miałem napisać kod. Nie, to nie tu. I już 2 razy go kliknąłem, ale nie 4, bo 4 razy trzeba było. Który to był? Nie ten... Nie ma. No cóż, bo jak 4 razy go kliknę, to może coś się stanie.
When Stanley... Wait, what?
Trochę więcej jest
I
drzwi tutaj.
restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote this story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
O, wow. Mam teraz więcej wyborów. Dobra, pójdźmy w lewo. To się robi trochę labirynt z tego. Tak, to jest tu, więc tędy już tak jakby nie chcę iść, więc przejdźmy tędy. O, że w mordę jaki labirynt. Ciekawe gdzie dojdę. Nie wiem gdzie idę.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we just...
Czy ja chodzę dookoła teraz?
The game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
They're just holding... Restartował mnie.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Nie ma tego monitora, w którym mogłem wpisać kod. Żadne drzwi się nie otworzyły? Nie. No to nie ma tego tyle szkoda. Może po jakimś endingu szczególnym on jest. Dobra. Tym razem będzie... nie będzie żadnych drzwi.
I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
No dobra. To będę sprawdzał każde drzwi. Nie. Tam coś jest. Nie mogę nic zrobić.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. Wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
I teraz będę chodził dookoła, żeby mnie zmieniać. Okej.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is
Ten
this the
budynek
story?
jest strasznie dziwny.
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
Okej, skończyliśmy grę, wygrałem.
And it really paid off, so good job. Oh no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Daj mi stąd wyjść.
I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Okej. Ja spoko, mogę to wziąć. Bo tam już tak nie było nic do roboty.
Alright, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Oh, Jesus. Naprawdę ktoś miał pomysł, żeby zrobić. O! Ostatnio jak szedłem tutaj. Znowu brak drzwi, prawda?
No, I'm done. We're living it up to the line from now on.
Okej, dobra. To muszę wrócić. O, może jeszcze ten monitor nie ma go. Dobra, czyli co? O, tu jest coś. O, pasjans, daj zagrać. Nie mogę. Dobra, czyli co? Lecimy dalej. Nie. Okej, przycięło się.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct?
Spuszczanie biegnie.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Teraz na pewno mnie nikt nie słyszy. Jak mam po tym przejść? Świetna linia. Wiem, że mnie nie słychać. Mogę gdzie indziej iść. Oła, strasznie głośno. lalą.
Cut the music. Go back
w końcu.
and look at that fern. Wait,
Okay.
what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Czy co, ona ma... Cofnęła mnie.
No, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
No. Ciekawe, co teraz wymyśli. Okej, znowu jest linia. 4, 2, 7. Okej, muszę zapamiętać. Przestał w ogóle mam mówić.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okej, coś nie mogę usłyszeć. Czy muszę iść?
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be?
Kółeczko.
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Okej, nie wiem, to jest znowu jakieś zapętlające się coś?
Oh no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Dobra. Czy ja muszę z tym podążać, czy... Okej, poszło gdzieś indziej.
A choice. We get to make a
nowego.
decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Aha, czyli nie mogę wybrać. Wybrał za mnie, no dobra. The confusion ending.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is?
Restart.
It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times?
Czyli, że...
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Czyli, że co, to wszystko musiało się zdarzyć.
I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind
After a long time,
blank
Stanley
simply
dies.
because it's written
Narrative
here
is
on
gone.
this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me?
Okej.
How do I get to decide?
Narrator restores the game.
I
There
get
is
a
no
say
longer
in all
an
of
office,
this?
simply
Is it
black
really?
space. Wander in
No,
blackness,
it can't
find
be.
the bookstore, get
I don't
bored,
want it
and
to
leave.
be.
Narrator
I don't want
the
the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
Okay.
The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Ciekawe, czy to jest w ogóle prawdziwy czas, który grałem. Jeśli tak, to jest listę.
You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? eventually.
Nie
In the
pamiętam, Auć. Nie pamiętam, w którym byliśmy. Próbowałem znaleźć mniej więcej miejsce, ale nie pamiętam, w którym byliśmy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Czyli możliwe, że to jeszcze dalej trwa. Tak naprawdę mogliśmy być w połowie tamtego cyklu.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Ta linia jest... Czyli ta gra się naprawdę zmienia od tego, jak gram.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Dobra, tego jeszcze nie robiłem.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Przejdziemy. Da się wrócić? Nie, dobra. I co, będzie dalej normalnie szła ta... Auć, jasne.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Czyli normalnie
Feeling
idzie.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up. Oh no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
No bo teoretycznie tak się nie robi, ci powiem. Okej, nic tu nie ma.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Na górze nie miałem za bardzo wyboru, jak pojechałem, prawda? Jak się wydaje. Będę jak było na dole. Nie, dobra, pójdę na górę, bo chyba tam dalej jest możliwość wyboru. To chyba jest ta... Wiem, że tu będę... Mogę w końcu przejść. Okej. Because the boss knows what the boss says goes. If boss suffer loss, then that's the boss choice. Okej. Extreme bathrooms. Nic tu nie mogę zrobić? Serio? Myślałem, że tam coś będzie. O, tu mogę wejść teraz. Wcześniej nie mogłem. Czy to jest panda z przystawionym pistoletem do głowy? Dobra, dałem im windę. W ogóle zamknął się narrator, nie wiem dlaczego. Nic mi nie mówi. Lecimy na górę. Ciekawe co tam znajdziemy tym razem. No to jeszcze nie byłem. Też bardzo długa gra. Stanley? Czy ja słyszałem Stanley? Dobra, no dawaj, wypuść mnie. Mam nadzieję, że nie będzie mnie tu trzymać w nieskończoność. Aż zastartuję. Nic tu nie mogę zrobić. No... Czy to narrator śpiewa? Okej. Może w końcu coś się stanie, no. Really? Okej, myślałem, że coś się stanie.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf. looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation.
Nie mogę.
But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Mogę zagrać?
What could its purpose be?
Nie mogę.
In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened
tu już byliśmy,
passageway.
ale tam dalej można było wybrać inne wejście, tak? Było Mind Control Facility i Exit. Bo dalej nie chcę wybuchać drugi raz już. O, przynajmniej pominęła się pewna część. Okej.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nie.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I tak przejdę.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Nie. Nie
At
przekonasz
this
mnie.
point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Okej. Aha, po prostu spadłem, się zabiłem, tak? Serio? Myślałem, że coś ciekawszego będzie. No nie, spadam. Mam naprawdę nogi dostali.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence
Okej, to mnie będzie
whatsoever.
zgniatać.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture.
Tak.
He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision
Tu
of
będę
what
mógł
this
wyjść.
world is. Perhaps his death was
Mogę
a
skakać.
loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and
Ouch.
willingly accepted this violent
Daj mi
end
wyjść.
to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Ups.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okej, uwolnili mnie.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Przeszedłem grę?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Stanley computer. Office layout. Blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path to Stanley office, the doors, first path of the game was built. Sectors added and altered through development to the core layout remains almost for the first iteration. Tu jest moje... tak, aha, tu mogę przejść, tu przechodzę. Tu i tutaj dalej jest... A, to wszystko jest opisane. Corridor. The pacing this open section was important to get rid of this corridor to be more of and to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. I tu są te wybór, the two doors. The set of the two doors, open two doors, was very first concert piece of the Stanley parable design. Once the room created, the rest of the game emerged extension of the exploration, the complication this room posed. Office Computers. Właśnie, czy tu jest ten komputer, który mogę wpisać kod? Nie ma. Okej. Aha. Każdy ma inne dźwięki, no. Credits. Czy to jest koniec gry? Office Clock. Boss Office. Czyli to jest koniec gry. Tak pokazują po prostu credits. Underground. O! To jest to, co przed chwilą tam byłem. What? Narration outtakes. Mogę go usłyszeć?
Stanley stood on the
O! Ja nie mogę, bo... Okej, po prostu mam jakiś rambling. Dobra. Chciałem, żeby mógł posłuchać jakichś pomyłek narratora. To było ciekawe. The countdown ending. Okej. Nie widziałem go jeszcze, tego. O! Nie mogę. Monitor room elevator, tak. Ale... Od? Tego też nie widziałem. Jeszcze jest tyle rzeczy. Lol. Escape menu? A, to jest po prostu... To. Okej. Strasznie skomplikowane. Tyle rzeczy jeszcze nie widziałem. Co to był za dźwięk? A, to. Jest zdanie, jak dojdzie do zera. Aha, different ending. Okej. Mogę wyjść jeszcze, czy nie? Okej. Da się stąd jeszcze jakoś wyjść? Tu jest jeszcze jakieś... Zero. Okej, zapętliłem się, ej. Co ja mam zrobić? Nikt nie mówi mi, które przyciski mam wciskać. Co ja mam zrobić? Warzone? Co? Dobra. Okej. Narrator emails. Jest to jakieś przejście dalej? A tak mogły wyglądać moje... te... Nie może być koniec już. Już tyle jeszcze nie widziałem. O, exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's.
W Resident Evil też oglądałem. Mogę wyjść, tak?
Stop now and true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Ouch. Jakbym wyszedł, to nie wiem, czy by się zapisało. Zarestartuj. Nie mów mi, że będzie teraz czarny ekran przez cały czas. Gra działa. Nie grałem, tylko mówię, że oglądałem na YouTubie. Pewnie i tak będzie straszne, ale po prostu lepiej jest nagrać coś, czego się nie widziało. Rozumiem, że nic więcej nie mogę zrobić. Muszę wyjść do menu, tak? To nie sprogresuje. No dobra, zobaczmy. Nie mówcie mi, że od nowa zacznę. Tak, zacznę od nowa.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Czyli
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Możliwe, że to był już true ending, okej. Czyli muszę jakoś inaczej zrobić, żeby dostać jeszcze inne endingi.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room.
Dobra, jeszcze jeden ending spróbuję osiągnąć i będzie pewnie kończył.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, teraz co tu było tak naprawdę? A! To było to.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't.
Ja tu zaskoczyłem na samym początku.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot.
I poszedłem tam.
I'm not your enemy.
Mogę spaść?
I realize that investing your trust in, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Baba Jaga? Nie znam. No, zaraz jeszcze raz tam pójdę.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Jeszcze sprawdzę, bo tutaj był taki komputer, ja chciałem go wpisać ten kod, ale nie mogłem zrobić tego naraz, musiałem to w każdym nowym... Dobra, ale tak. O, od razu jest inaczej. Okej, czyli nie mogę... Nie, coś się musiało... Coś się tu zmieniło.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting
Jeszcze raz tu przejdę, bo chcę przejść
room,
tam i zobaczyć, co jak dojadę do samego
Perhaps he wanted to
końca.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Dobra. Jak spadnę, to się zabiję.
Tam
Tam już byłem. Więc czas polecieć tam. O, tam są się drzwi.
Investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Okej, dowiadujemy się czegoś nowego. Jesus.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the...
Dobra, zobaczmy. 4 to 7.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on.
Nie spodziewałem
Did
się
you
tego.
actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Okej. To też oglądałem. Dobra, ja horror gry oglądałem cały czas.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Widzimy pracowniku, naciśnij 8 na klawiaturze. Dobra. 8.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
No, widzę. No, klikam.
Look at him there, pushing
okay.
buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spędzić czas z kumplami.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer.
No.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Nie. Nie wciskam. Nie. Zniknij. Okej, to nie mogę. SCP, co to? Nie, nie klikam. Ile mam tak czekać? Okej. Nie daje. Muszę kliknąć, prawda? Dobra.
You see?
Musiałem.
Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Aby nie zadawać zbędnych
I
pytań.
can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Okej. Już zaczytałem. To napisane w twórczości pisania o działalności SCP. SCP Containment Breach. O Jezus Maria. Nie... znam część. Wiem, że to jest gra, w której naprawdę dużo... tak. Że dużo trzeba o niej wiedzieć, żeby ją przejść. Oglądałem tylko trochę. Nie znam tej gry dokładnie.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting.
Dobra.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Zobaczę, czy coś się jeszcze zmieniło. Jeżeli wszystko będzie tak samo, to skończę raczej, bo rozumiem, że w tą grę można grać w nieskończoność. Po prostu cały czas odkrywać nowe rzeczy. No, może gdzieś tam jest koniec. Dobra, jeszcze w tym nie przechodziłem przez te. Zobacz, czy coś się zmieniło.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Nie da mi teraz tam wejść już. Wchodziłem tam wiele razy. No,
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Nie wiem, co tu było. Czy coś tu się zmieniło? A nie. To ja cofam. Ja wiem, że tutaj nie było wyboru już. Tam pójdę, to już będę cały czas z tym jednym zakończeniu. Nadal mogę to otworzyć, tu się nic nie zmieniło. O, nie, zmieniło się. I've got the feeling money is for stealing, but no your scores. Okej. Czyli coś się zmienia, napis się tam zmienia. Czyli cały czas jestem w grze i to się cały czas zmienia. To jest ta winda, którą nie mogę nigdzie dojechać, chyba że teraz mogę. No. Tak, nigdzie nie mogę. Dobra.
The moment he entered his
Jeszcze mogę... O, wyłączę jeszcze.
To było
2-8-0...
This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk.
2-8, co dalej?
What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Puść mnie dalej! Jezus Maria, nie chcę dać, jeszcze raz czekaj. Nie mogę.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Jeszcze mogę wyłączyć całą placówkę. Jezus Maria, grałem już przez 1,5 godziny. Coś jest? Jest niewidzialne. Znaczy, ciemno jest, więc nic nie widzę. O, myślałem, że coś tam będzie mało widzialnego, ale nie, dobra. To wyłączę całą placówkę w takim razie. Chyba true ending już miałem przy tym escape'ie, bo już musiałem wyjść po prostu z gry, chyba że gra dalej się ciągnie, już nawet nie mam pojęcia. Czy gra jest dalej zapisana, czy to już jest tak jakby nowa gra? Nie mam pojęcia.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Dobra. Zamknęły się za mną drzwi. Zamknęły. Dobra.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Dawaj, dawaj. O, mogę kucać. Dopiero teraz przyznałem kontrol.
Jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley.
Nie mogę skakać, ale mogę kucać. Okej, to może mi coś dać. Nie wiem gdzie, ale pewnie do czegoś to jest.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Jakimi klawiszami? Okej.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
Jakieś ciekawe zakończenie, bo to...
It was unthinkable, wasn't it?
Nie wiem, gdzie mam już
Was it
iść.
even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Dobra.
But here was the
No i
proof,
teraz
the heart of the
prawda?
operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working,
Dobra.
all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Dobra. Nie wiem jak wyłączyć nadal bombę, więc po prostu wyłączę zasilanie. Ale głośne. Dobra. To już? To już?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to
to jest po prostu ekran.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
No, I na takim bardzo szczęśliwym zakończeniu można zakończyć chyba. To wszystko. O! Dostałem... O! Osiągnięcie Beat the Game. Czyli to był taki prawdziwy ending. Tam to też było jakimś endingiem... Wydaje mi się, że takim... No dobra. Bo to można grać nieskończoność, to będzie mnie cały czas tu rzucać. Nie powiem nic ciekawego pewnie. Dobra. W takim razie... Dziękuję bardzo. W takim razie to chyba wyczerpuję na temat na dzisiaj. Może jeszcze poczytam jakieś rzeczy ciekawe, co można zrobić, na przykład jak wyłączyć...
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his coworkers.
Dobra. Jak wyłączyć tą bombę i czy są jeszcze jakieś ciekawe zakończenia, bo przecież w tym pomieszczeniu, tym wielkim białym z tym były te screeny z zakończeń, których jeszcze nie widziałem, na przykład tam jakieś Warzone, jeszcze jakieś takie rzeczy, nie pamiętam już dokładnie, ale były i pewnie da się je jakoś osiągnąć, więc będę musiał pewnie jakoś to zobaczyć, bo nie chcę krążyć cały czas w kółko i robić dokładnie to samo, a nie wiem, czy po prostu znajdę sam je w odpowiednim czasie. Ale tak, no to było ciekawe, naprawdę gra fajna, dobrze zrobiona, dużo różnych zmian i na przykład teraz nie ruszam myszką, sama się przesuwa, okej. Tak więc no ciekawa gra, naprawdę pewnie jeszcze jest dużo do zrobienia, może jeszcze jeden film, może dwa krótsze, jak nie będę wiedział co dokładnie robić, to jeszcze coś tam będzie można zrobić. Ale nadal jeszcze mam do zrobienia co to było? Jeszcze mam tego South Parka do kończenia, Getting Over It, Anti-Chamber, z tego jeszcze za 1 czy 2 odcinki, też nie dużo. No i jeszcze ten chciałem spróbować może Dark Souls, zobaczyć czy mi pójdzie, bo też nie wiem czy pójdzie mi na kompie. No i może jakiś horror, jeżeli tam chcecie, ale nie wiem czy znajdę jakiś dobry horror, który będzie mnie stać, który pójdzie na streamie i będę mógł sobie w niego zagrać. Tak więc dzięki za oglądanie tak naprawdę i do zobaczenia teraz, nie wiem kiedy streamował, jutro nie jest, nie, jutro jest niedziela, nie poniedziałek, pomyliło mi się. Jutro jest niedziela, tak? Dobrze pamiętam, tak, dzisiaj jest sobota. To jutro powinienem być, w poniedziałek może mnie nie być, czyli jutro pewnie South Park, bo po kolei lecimy i potem się pewnie zapętlimy z powrotem do Getting Over It. Tak więc dzięki za oglądanie, do zobaczenia najprawdopodobniej jutro, tak jak mówiłem i na razie.